what are the going rates for fiscal sponsorship fees? So it's so interesting. A lot of people are talking about fiscal sponsorship these days. And for those of you who are involved in the nonprofit sector, but I'm not sure what fiscal sponsorship is, I'll give you Jamie's definition in a nutshell. If somebody is up to something amazing and they want to create a nonprofit to do it, a lot of people don't realize how much red tape, i.e. taking years off your life, anybody with me on this one, is involved in creating your own nonprofit. It's a zillion times harder than creating your own for-profit business. You have to go out and recruit and form a board and create a board culture. You have to do special filings with the IRS and with the state. You have to get your 501c3 designation. And plus you have to do all the normal things that you would have to do when starting an organization anyway, like getting a tax ID and getting a separate bank account for the organization. But there's so much more, especially with that dynamic of having a board. And a lot of founders kind of sometimes forget that they don't own a nonprofit. A good board will quickly remind them that they don't own a nonprofit. A good and supportive board. But anyhow, it takes so much work that if somebody really wants to focus on mission, they can coordinate with an established nonprofit and be fiscally sponsored. And what this means is they go out and do fundraising and on behalf of their project. It's now called a project, and they are the project leader. So the project leader goes out and does fundraising for the project and does the work of the project. Maybe has employees or contractors or volunteers, maybe not. And the organization that's legally established as a nonprofit with the board, the red tape, and everything else handled, they take in the contributions and then pay them out to the project leader. Or, depending on the arrangement, pay them out directly to the vendors that have been authorized by the project leader. So, and for that service, so similarly, the project then does not have to file a 990, which is a tax return or what's called an information return for their project. The fiscal sponsor takes care of all of that. They report all the revenue, all the expenses of the project. So in exchange for that service of, first of all, providing a potentially tax deductible mechanism for accepting those donations. Secondly, an organization hopefully with established credibility. So someone says, okay, got it. These funds are going to benefit your project, but I'm donating to the XYZ organization. I get that. That's great. They have credibility. I know that they're going to handle my money responsibly and get it into your hands. For that, the fiscal sponsor, 99% of the time, withholds the fee. So if someone donates $1,000 and the fiscal sponsor's fee is 10%, then 900 of those dollars are going to go to wherever the project leader says for it to go, into a separate bank account or going out to pay vendors for the project. So the question is, what are the going rates for fiscal sponsorship fees? And I use 10% deliberately because the going rate really is 10%. There are some organizations who will provide fiscal sponsorship for a lower fee. I've seen 5 to 7%, for example, and I am currently supporting an organization that currently is charging 6%, but they're getting up to speed. I've also heard of people negotiating with fiscal sponsors a lower rate, sometimes even lower than the cost borne by the fiscal sponsor. And sometimes the fiscal sponsor will agree upon negotiation to not withhold anything at all, but provide that service pro bono. But a standard rate for that is 10%.